In a world where we can feel so caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, it's easy to forget that there's something bigger than us, something more powerful. A lot of us can go through days without even pausing to reflect on how amazing and vast the universe really is. That's why I felt like sharing something truly special that happened to me recently, an experience that has been on my heart ever since. It came to me through a dream, and not just any dream. This was a dream that carried so much weight, so much power, that even when I woke up, I couldn't shake the feeling. The presence, the message, and the realization stayed with me, and I feel that sharing it with you might encourage someone out there who needs to hear it too. So let me take you back. I had this dream, and in it, I was experiencing something so real, so intense, that I could hardly process it at first. In the dream, I was in a space that felt peaceful, yet filled with such power, and I felt like I was being guided through something beyond my understanding. And in that moment, I knew without a doubt that God was with me, speaking to me directly. It wasn't just a casual interaction, it was something that moved me deep within. I could feel his presence in a way I had never felt before. It felt like a visit from the divine, something that I can only describe as God coming to me in the form of a dream, a personal communication, an experience where I could hear him, feel him, and almost touch the reality of his being. As he spoke to me, I was trying to gather myself, trying to hold back the tears because his words were so strong, so emotional that I couldn't even keep my composure. It was as if the weight of his words was shaking me to my core. And I wasn't just experiencing it in the dream, I carried the same emotion and feeling when I woke up. The message, the power, everything stayed with me. Have you ever had a dream like that? One where you wake up and it feels like the dream hasn't ended? You can still feel the emotions, you can still feel what you were going through as if it was happening in the present. That's exactly what happened to me. When I woke up, I was still trembling, still in tears. The presence of what I had experienced lingered, and I couldn't shake the weight of it. It was so powerful that I felt I needed to share it with you because I believe it can be a reminder, an encouragement for those who might need to hear it. So, here's what happened in the dream. In my dream, God spoke to me, and his words were clear. He said, I am the Alpha and the Omega. I am the beginning and the end. Now, these aren't just words we hear in church or read in books, these words have meaning, deep meaning. God wasn't just telling me this for the sake of it. He was reminding me, and I believe he's reminding all of us, that he is the ultimate authority over everything. There is nothing that happens, nothing that starts, and nothing that ends without his involvement. Everything in life begins with him, and everything in life ends with him. That is the power, the sovereignty, that God holds. I am the Alpha and the Omega. These words hit me in a way that I can't even fully describe. When we think about life, everything we experience is part of a bigger picture, one that has been designed and created by God from the beginning of time. From the very first breath we take to the very last one, God is present in all of it. He is the Alpha, the first, the beginning of all things. And he is also the Omega, the last, the end of all things. Nothing starts without him, nothing moves without him, and nothing can end without him. That's the level of control and power he holds. I don't know about you, but hearing those words, it's like a reminder of how small we are in the grand scheme of things, and how big God is. No matter how much we try to take control, no matter how many plans we make, in the end, it's God who has the final say. It's God who is the beginning and the end. And when I think about that, it puts things into perspective. There's peace in knowing that everything is under his control. There's peace in knowing that nothing happens without him allowing it to. It's like this, in life, we go through different phases. Some of us start new jobs, some of us start new chapters in our lives, and others are in the middle of transitions. And no matter where we are in life, it's comforting to know that everything begins with God, and everything will end with God. So, when we are in those tough moments, in those moments where we feel lost or unsure, we can remind ourselves that this is just a part of the journey that God has planned. It's not the end until he says it's the end. And when he says, go, that's when the next chapter begins. I end the dream, I was on my knees, trying to process the enormity of what was happening. I could barely speak, barely gather myself, because of how powerful it was. I remember feeling overwhelmed by his presence. Have you ever been in a situation where you were so moved by something that you couldn't even speak? You couldn't find the right words because the feeling was just too intense. That was me in that moment. I wanted to tell others about it, but I could hardly get the words out. The presence of God was just so strong, and even after waking up, the experience stayed with me. I could still feel the trembling, the emotion, and the weight of what had been revealed to me in the dream. It's a reminder that God's presence is real. It's not just something we read about in books or hear about from other people. It's something that is alive, that we can experience ourselves, in dreams, in visions, in the quiet moments of our lives. God speaks to us, sometimes in ways that we don't even expect. I know some of you may be going through tough times right now. Maybe you're starting something new, and it feels overwhelming. Maybe you're facing an ending, a transition, and it's hard to see where the next step leads. But remember, no matter what you're going through, God is with you in the beginning and at the end. He is there at every turn. He's the one who says, go. He's the one who says, it's time to move forward. And until he says so, there's no ending, there's no stopping. You are in his hands. It's a beautiful thing to remember that God is the Alpha and the Omega. His words remind us that we are never alone, no matter what phase of life we're in. And when I woke up, I had this song stuck in my head, one that perfectly captured the essence of what I was feeling. It was a song that talks about God being the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. It was almost as if the song came to me as a reminder of everything that had just been revealed in my dream. I couldn't even remember who sang it at first, but when I Googled it and found it, I played it on repeat. The song filled my heart with peace, knowing that God is with me every step of the way. As I share this with you today, I want you to hold on to this message, to let it resonate within you. Life might be challenging at times, and there may be moments where you feel lost or uncertain. But remember, God is the Alpha and the Omega. Everything begins with him, and everything ends with him. If you're starting something new, trust that he is with you at the start. And if something is coming to an end, trust that he will guide you to the next phase. Stay encouraged. Stay in the fight. Life can be tough, but we are never alone. God is with us, guiding us every step of the way. When the world feels heavy, remember that he is the Alpha and the Omega, and he has the final say. Nothing starts without him, and nothing ends without him. And that, my friends, is a reminder worth holding on to. God bless you all. Stay encouraged, and keep trusting in him, because he is with you always.